The reason that I created this training, Scale with Ease, is really because I am sick of seeing women, especially, get into business, start a business, and focus on the wrong things, right? I did this for a very long period of time in the early stages of my business. I spent a lot of time focusing on the things that don't matter, things that are not going to build me sustainable income, security, or create more predictability in my business. Now, all of us are here because we are wanting to grow, right? Which means that if you're coming into my space and you've never been in here before, I am going to preface just a couple of things. First things first is I am very direct. I am very honest in the way that I coach and teach. There are things that I'm going to probably talk about today that might make you feel a little bit like, oh, I'm feeling a bit called out, but I want you to lean into it, right? The more that you can lean into the things that you are ignoring, the more sustainable and secure your business is going to be. Now, this is probably not really the conversation that you thought was going to be happening in this training. If you've been in my world before, there are things that you would have already heard me speak about, absolutely, because I'm not here reinventing the wheel. But I really, really encourage you to spend today listening, absorbing, and taking notes. Now, if you've come in here just to, be curious or learn a little bit, but you're not willing to take action and apply it, you will be stuck in the same position that you are currently in for the next 6, 12, 18, however long your business journey lasts for. Knowledge is knowledge, and it's useless unless it's actually applied. One lesson that you can take straight away before we even dive into the 5 main codes that I'm going to be teaching you guys today is action is the thing that's going to yield results. Whether or not you take action that is perfect, imperfect, it doesn't work out, it means that you're always moving the needle in some sort of element in your business. Now, like I said before, the reason I created this training is because I want us all to be able to head into 2025 with some clear game plan. We're not focusing on the shit that doesn't matter, that doesn't grow our business. We're not focusing on the high cash months. We are now tapped into our long-term vision in business. And that is going to be a very, very big determining factor, whether or not you can actually build sustainability and security long-term. Now, like I said, if you are coming in here just because you're curious or just because you're wanting to learn, I want to make sure that we are not just here to post a photo on Instagram with hashtag growth, hashtag business. We're here to apply, we're here to learn, right? And like I said, action, action, action is going to get you closer towards your end goal. Now, I've got some notes on the side of my screen because if you guys have been in my spaces before, you guys know that I love a good yap. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a background story if you are new here to how I kind of built the business that I have today. Now, I started out as a personal trainer. In the chat box while I'm talking, actually, I'd like to know what business do you guys own? Whether you're in like a personal training business, nutrition business, hair salon, where are you sitting in terms of your business at the moment? What do you own? But I started my business back in 2018 as a personal trainer on the gym floor, right? I was doing back-to-back sessions. I was working from 5 a.m. till 9 p.m. majority of the time, 6, sometimes even 7 days a week, right? I was making about $800. And I always felt like I couldn't ever move past the amount of money I was making based on the amount of hours in the day and me being only one solo human. Then COVID happened and I was forced to move into the online space. And this is where I started to get really, really focused on my long-term vision and what I wanted my business to be like. Within less than 3 months, I made $150,000 in my business in less than 3 months. Hired 3 staff members, hired 3 co-coaches, hired a full-time VA, and started really being able to scale and focus on building sustainable income in my business moving forward. I then pivoted into the business mentoring and business coaching space and was able to, again, successfully scale and build my business mentoring business to where it is today. Last year, I crossed over $500,000 in organic sales in my business within 12 months. No paid advertising, no sales team, no sales script, purely doing exactly what I am about to teach you all here today. So we are going to be going over the 5 codes or the 5 rules that I believe a lot of people miss when they are trying to build a sustainable and scalable business. If you are someone who is wanting to make your first 10K cash month or your first $5,000 cash month consistently over and over and over again, I would be getting your notepads out and taking a fuckload of notes today. We have got online coaches, online fitness coaches, face-to-face personal trainer, sports nutritionist. Love it. All right, code number 1. And I'm just going to kind of teach like this today. Code number 1, code number 2, we're getting straight into it. So code number 1, if you are wanting to build 10K consistent cash months in your business, you are going to have to focus on building high levels of consistency. You cannot have consistent cash months without getting to the root cause of why you lack consistency. And when we think about consistency, majority of people actually spend their time having superficial levels of consistency. And what I mean by that is you are consistent until nobody clicks your links, nobody inquires, until your real views start plummeting, until your story views start dropping, until your clients leave. If you cannot keep high levels of consistency, and when we really strip back what superficial levels of consistency really means, it's essentially you appearing to take regular action, but lacking any depth or focus. You get to the point where you're like, oh, I'm very, very consistent with, my health, my fitness, etc. But you can't be consistent with posting content online. You can't be consistent with all of the other codes that I'm going to be teaching today. Now, I will notice a lot of people in business will focus on showing up consistently without any intentionality or purpose behind it. So you'll spend time completing tasks that don't really have a lot of impact on the other side. This is what I would call time wasting, as well as you avoid getting into challenging positions or taking risks. It's easier to stay safe and stay at that level of consistency that you're currently at without stepping outside that comfort zone to be able to push your business forward. How many of us feel like we have really high levels of consistency at the moment in our business? Or how many of us in the chat box feel like consistency is something that we actually need to be working on? Because I know for me, my early stages of business, I thought I was the most consistent person in the world. I was like, yeah, I'm posting content. Yeah, I'm being consistent. But I actually had superficial levels of consistency. I was consistent until a point, until I felt challenged, until I felt scared, until I felt fear, until I felt failure. And then I would retreat all the way back to doing exactly what I was doing previously, not actually making any progress in building sustainability or security in my business. Definitely in some areas, it's the foundations I need to build on first. I'm focusing on the wrong thing. Yeah, I need to work on consistency with pretty much everything. I love the brutal honesty. We love that. So another thing that we want to think about is if you are somebody who says they are consistent and you attend every free masterclass, you go to every free seminar, or you invest money in things, but you don't actually apply it into your business, you have superficial levels of consistency. And what we can see happen, and what I see happen with a lot of people in the industry, I've coached up to close to 500 business owners over the last 2.5 years, is a lot of people have low levels of consistency, meaning that they get inconsistent results. So they might have really high cash months one month, but then not be able to sustain that time and time and time again. And yes, it is important to be making high cash months, but if you're only doing that once a year, you are not going to feel like it is very sustainable, nor can you start predicting where your business is going to be going. You don't have the foresight to be able to start making plans and decisions moving forward, because every time you lack consistency, you're going to get an inconsistent result in your business. Low levels of consistency also will damage your credibility as a business owner. When we think about hiring, majority of us in here are coaches or in some sort of mentoring space. When we think about hiring a coach, what is one thing that we probably all look at? Levels of consistency that coach shows, not only to their health, their fitness, their business, their life. Every time you decide to post really consistently, take 6 months off, come back, post once a week, not get the views that you want, then decide to come back to the internet, you are damaging your credibility long term. Why should people trust you if you cannot trust yourself to show up consistently inside your business? The other thing that happens when we have low levels of consistency is we have an unclear business identity. Your audience will start to get very confused when you lack consistency with your vision and your messaging. If we are inconsistent with growing, if we are inconsistent with posting, if we are inconsistent with creating content, if we are inconsistent with replying to clients, if we are inconsistent with replying to inquiries on time, people are going to start looking at your business through a little bit of a dirtier lens. They are going to be confused in what your long-term vision is and overall really confused in your business as a whole, whether or not they should be investing their money into working with you. And when I think to building high levels of consistency, and this is the quote that I literally live by, is once you know better, you're now forced to do better. So if you know that you are shit with your levels of consistency in your business, get fucking honest with yourself. Because I will say this throughout today's masterclass over and over and over again. But the reality is you can have every fucking strategy that's going to make you $10,000 cash months in your business, 50K cash months in your business, 100K cash months in your business. But if you lack the levels of consistency to implement any of this, none of it's going to happen for you. And you need to start getting brutally honest with your levels of consistency. Are you someone that has high levels of consistency? Would you actually hire yourself? And get really brutally honest with this. Code number 2, level of distraction. How distracted are you? People in business will spend a lot of time focusing on things that don't actually matter. How many of us in the chat box have spent hours making pretty Canva slides, but don't really sell too much on your story? Maybe you spent hours creating a website, but you don't spend hours creating content or building a strong personal brand. These are tasks that I would say, and obviously I will preface here that this is going to be different for everybody's business. Haha, feeling called out. Different for everyone's business, different for everyone's stage. But these tasks are things that are keeping you distracted from doing needle moving tasks in your business that will actually start getting you towards more sustainability and security. If you are spending 20 hours on Canva making the prettiest Canva slides so your Instagram can be perfectly aesthetically pleasing, but you're not selling actively on your stories, you're not talking about what it is that you do, or maybe you spend hours building a website when your dream/ideal client is actually finding their nutrition, their health, their mentoring advice on Instagram, you're missing a massive market and massive opportunity for growth in your business. Now, distraction can come in a lot of different ways. This can be one of them, where we focus on low priority tasks. We spend time saying that we are busy, we are being quote unquote productive, but all we're trying to do is distract ourselves from doing the things that are actually going to get or yield a result in our business, e.g. selling, e.g. building a personal brand, e.g. starting to understand how to create content that actually converts. Now, what will happen when you start to get easily distracted inside your business is that you will have inconsistent action. Who has ever been that person that 1 minute they're hot and heavy, they're really into their business, they can't wait, everything's really exciting, and then all of a sudden they decide to tap out because maybe they're not getting lead generation, maybe no one's really interested in what it is that they're doing? I can guarantee that you're distracted on a low value task. If you're that person that comes in hot, heavy, tapping in, tapping out of your business, you lack levels of consistency and you're easily distracted. leading to inconsistent action. There should be things in your business that you do every single day that are needle-moving tasks to yield a particular result. Regardless of what anybody else in the industry is doing, regardless of how you feel on that day, you need to have less distraction and more time implementing. Now, when we think about distraction, I also encourage all of us at the end of this masterclass to check our screen time. If you are someone who spends 8 hours on Instagram, over consuming content of other people in your industry, and then complain that you don't feel creative or you don't know what to post, of course you fucking don't. Because how would you feel creative when all you're doing is consuming what everybody else is doing in the industry? This is the easiest way to pull you out of your own creative realm, your own personality, your own authenticity, remove you from standing out, and really pushing you in to blend in with everybody else. When we think about the businesses that we own, specifically being online, specifically having thousands of eyes upon us all the time and upon everybody else all the time, you don't want to be blending in, you want to be standing out. The industry is competitive. I'm going to be honest with you. It is competitive. If you look at what everybody else is doing and spend your time trying to copy or get distracted by this person released something like this person offered something like this, all you are doing is getting distracted, moving further away from building any sort of sustainability and security. Now, when we think to building sustainability or security inside of our businesses, we need to start thinking about what our long-term vision is. If you are someone who is easily distracted, you are not focused in on your long-term vision. You are focused in on what is trending across multiple areas of your industry, and you're no longer focusing on the impact that you're going to have with clients who need you, but everybody else who is in your industry that you see as competition. Now, when I say the word competition, I don't say like, we're all going to look around at each other and be like, I'm coming after you, competition. It's not like that. But you need to understand that every industry, whether you are an online coach, a lawyer, a plumber, whatever, every industry is saturated. Every industry is competitive. How do we stand out and not blend in? Stop getting distracted. Focus in on your long-term vision and get really honest with yourself where you do lack levels of consistency and are easily distracted. If this means that you need to unfollow people, do it. If this means that you need to block people, do it. If you are following people who make you question your self-worth, etc., mute them, block them, unfollow. If you are following people that don't challenge you, unfollow. You are always in control of your social media. And if you find yourself utilizing social media in a way where you're just rotting on the couch, scrolling, over consuming, either use Opal, which is an app that locks you out of your apps, or start removing, unfollowing, muting, blocking, goodbye. Now, distraction also can be falls into the same category as comparison, right? Now, if you're watching a lot of other people in your industry doing things that you feel like is out of your reach and you start doubting your abilities, this is a way to distract you out of your long-term vision again. So if we're comparing, like I said, we remove, block, mute, unfollow, move on, right? We need to stay tapped into our long-term vision and remove and limit distractions. Code number 3, making quicker decisions and practicing non-attachment in your business. The speed at which you make decisions is the speed at which your business grows. If you sit in contemplation, should I invest in this? Should I hire this? Should I do this? Should I launch this offer? You are wasting time. Your business is not going to grow by you sitting in contemplation, and it's sure as shit never going to be sustainable. You need to learn to make quicker decisions Whether they are the right decision, the wrong decision, an okay decision, it doesn't matter. Know on the other side, you can back yourself to make it work, change, pivot, and adapt when needed. Now, I'm going to give you guys a clear example. I had a client who came into Side Hustle to CEO, which is my 6-month business development program, making $500 a week, right? She was at the tether of her business. I remember when we had the initial call, because they get a business audit call, she was like, I am literally ready to give up my business. I'm at wit's end. She can't make decisions. She is very anxiously attached to the outcome of her business. Within 6 months, she went from making $500 a week to $3,500 a week in her business because she actively started making quicker decisions, but most importantly, practiced non-attachment. She stopped focusing on the outcome of her business so heavily and started focusing on the impact that she wanted to make with the people coming into her world. And this is something that everybody in their business journey will get caught and sucked into. How many of us have sat refreshing their Stripe? How many of us has sent a link to a client to check 3 minutes later to see if they've seen the message, sign the contract and ready to start? We've all been there. And if that is you and you are holding on tightly to specific outcomes or expectations in your business, this is going to hinder your growth and your decision-making progress. What will start to happen when you are overly attached to the outcome of your business? Now, I am going to preface, obviously, we need to care about the outcome of our business, right? It's important. We want to be making money. We want to be creating impact. We have bills to pay. I completely understand that. But there is a difference about caring about the outcome and being anxiously attached to the outcome, where all of a sudden you're making everything mean something about you. If you ever have a client leave and work with another coach and you make it about yourself, oh my God, she hates me. I must not be a good coach. What's so good about this other coach? You are in an overly attached and anxious phase of your business. If you're someone who constantly checks their Stripe account to see how many clients are signing up, to see how many clients downloaded your free PDF, you are probably going to feel more anxiously attached to the outcome. And what happens when we get anxiously attached to the outcome of our business and we don't practice non-attachment is we no longer care about the people we're trying to help. We're caring about the money. And in a business of service, which we all are, money is only the byproduct. The byproduct of being good at what you do, the byproduct of helping, but it's not the driving force, right? And don't get me wrong, I love making fucking money. Everyone in here loves making money, right? We're all here because we want to make more sustainable and secure income in our business. But when you attach your worth to making money, it's game fucking over. You will start resenting your business. You will make shit decisions in your business and have slower decision-making processes. And you will probably be distracted and not have any levels of consistency. Do you see how they all tie into each other? Now, how being overly attached in your business is going to affect you in terms of scalability and sustainability. You will be the person who has to wait for everything to be perfect to move the needle in your business. The perfect Canva tile, the perfect time, life's really busy, procrastination. If you're someone who procrastinates, if you're someone who waits for the perfect time, you are trying to avoid something. You will also find that your decision-making processes will now be an emotionally driven process for you. You will only do things when you feel good. If you're having a shit day, I'm not going to show up, can't be bothered. And you will let your fear, your anxiety, your frustration drive decisions into your business, furthermore, making poorer decisions than strategic decisions. Now, when we think about business, I always play in two brains. I have my logical brain of when I am doing things in my business, I am not driving from emotion. I don't give a fuck how I feel. I don't care if X, Y, and Z is going on. I have a business to run, I take it seriously, and I move from a logical brain. Then I also have my illogical brain. This is the place where you can have a little bit more fun, you can be a little bit more delusional, but we are always having a balance of both. When you are overly attached and you're not practicing non-attachment, you are moving from an illogical brain, meaning that you are probably not making decisions that are going to help you moving forward long term, and you're making decisions right now which will push quick cash injections into your business, but not necessarily set you up with a framework to be able to sustainably scale your business, right? Now, when we think about owning a small business, the one reason why people usually, give up or don't start in the first place, other than the fear of failure and all of the things, is because there's no security there, right? Like we don't have the security of being paid a wage with, annual leave and sick leave. We've got to do it all on our own. But I can guarantee you, if you start making more strategic decisions in your business, not following trends, not getting distracted, not being inconsistent, strategic decisions that make sense to your business, you can build a sustainable and secure business probably way quicker than you think. Now, the other thing that can happen when we are anxiously attached to our business is we have a resistance to letting go of things, whether that is clients that are no longer serving you or offers that don't make logical sense to where your business is going trajectory-wise. I hate that word. I can never say it. So what will happen is you will hold on to things or you will add things into your business from an anxious attachment place, meaning, for example, if you're a fitness coach and you've never spoken about confidence in your content ever, and you decide you're going to run a masterclass on building confidence, you are probably going to notice that you don't get a lot of people converting into that masterclass because you are making a decision from an illogical brain, not from a logical, strategical driven place. If you were a personal trainer and you spoke and you made food recipes all the time and you decided to host a webinar about the importance of macronutrients, you would probably see a better conversion because you're not making a decision based on, I want to do this because everybody else is doing it. Actually, this makes logical sense for my business. Now, what you can see happen when you are anxiously attached to the outcome in your business is it is going to stop you from growing. You will get to a point where you're like, I feel really good this month. I'm doing all the things. Everything feels great. One shit thing happens. You make a decision based on how you feel. You stop growing and it becomes a vicious cycle. You will be unintentionally cock blocking your own potential. You will find that you fall into a burnout cycle over and over and over again. Who's ever got to the point of their business where they're like, oh, nothing seems to be working. I'm over it. Like no one's inquiring, no one cares, no one's signing up to my offers. It's probably because you're using your illogical mind to make decisions in your business. You will be focused on the money aspect of your business and not the experience that people are having coming into your world. What does this do? It leads to low levels of retention, a client having a shit experience, and people leaving. Now, when we think about retention rates in our business, this is so important in terms of scaling. Right? We need to have high levels of retention so we're not looking for clients all of the time. But when you think about retention as a bucket, if I'm getting 15 leads a week and signing 15 clients, 100% conversion rate, but I have a hole in my bucket and 15 clients are leaving, I am not growing my business at all. I'm just staying in the exact same position. Right? And I know it feels good to get that dopamine hit of, oh my God, people are inquiring. But you also need to pay attention to, if you're focused on sales all the time in your business, you're not focused on your client's experience. And that's the easiest way to make that hole in that bucket 10 times bigger. Code number 4, building relationships, nurturing your client journey, and creating volume in your business. Like I said, most people will spend majority of their time looking for new clients. I need more lead generation. I need more lead generation, completely ignoring the connections and the opportunities they already have with the community or clients that they're already working with. This ties into being anxiously attached. Money, 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 sales, sales, sales. People sitting right in front of you going, I'm here to tell all of my friends about you. I'm here to promote you on my social media if you paid fucking attention to me. When I work with any client, and there's some of my clients in here so they can contest to this, I want to know everything about your life. We are becoming besties, so I understand you deeply and can help you to the best of my ability. I'm not getting you in my business as another fucking number to be like, oh yeah, made a sale today. It doesn't matter, because the reality is you're hiring me for a particular purpose to help you. And that's what I'm going to do to the best of my ability. So it's very important when you're in your business that you're focusing on building and nurturing your client's journey. Now, when we think to a client nurturing journey, essentially this is just a process of guiding your potential or existing clients through every stage of their journey in your business. So how does a client move from A to Z, increasing their lifetime customer value? So how much money they spend in your business overall, but also building connection and community. Now, when we think to client nurturing, this is going to start with content creation. When somebody comes on your page, they are going to decide within 45 seconds whether they like you and they want to follow you. They are going to start the period or the process of getting connected with you through your content. So ask yourself, are you creating content with no intentionality behind it? Or are you creating content that actually converts your audience into paid clients? Are you posting to tick a box to say, I'm being consistent, but you're not actually posting with any real intention or intent? Now, like I said before, in the last 12 months, I've made over $500,000 in organic, no paid ads, organic through Instagram sales in my business, right? This comes down to nurturing my client's journey and creating more volume, right? Now, when we think to the volume piece, this is going to look like many different things. Are you doing the bare minimum? Are you creating one bit of content per week? Are you doing the most and creating more bits of content per week? Where are you currently sitting? Because if you are going to do the bare minimum in your business, expect bare minimum results. If you are going to complain when, oh, content creation is so hard, expect bare minimum results. That's the reality of it. So when we think about increasing volume, we want to be looking at all avenues of our business. How can we increase volume with our current clients? How can we increase volume through our content creation? How can we increase volume with getting more connections throughout our audience or with our current clients? If you don't focus on your client nurturing journey and building relationships, you are going to notice that people lose trust and lack of credibility in your business long term. So people will start not trusting you. They won't refer you. They won't post you on their story, and they won't feel connected with you to stay with you longer term in your business, increasing your lifetime customer value. You'll notice the poor retention starts happening again, meaning it feels harder for you to be able to actually build secure and sustainable income and be able to scale. You lose the lack of opportunity for upselling or cross-selling in your business. And you have no real community vibe about what it is that you do. Now, when we think about growing a business, all of us are in like health and fitness or mentoring. What do people like to do? People love to buy from people, and people love to feel connected. Focus on building relationships, nurturing your client journey, and creating some sort of volume in your business, because volume is going to allow you to scale easier. Code number 5, our last code. Do you actually have the infrastructure to support scaling a business? Do you have a timeline offer suite? And do you know how to effectively build one that actually works? So scaling your business to a consistent 10K month is going to require some sort of infrastructure in the background to support the growth, the efficiency, and the sustainability of scaling. If you have a one-on-one business where you're working one-on-one with clients, that is not scalable unless you hire co-coaches, increasing your overheads. If you're wanting to build a sustainable and scalable business, you need to move away from working with one-on-one clients into a one-to-many approach. There is only one of you, and you are going to be capped for time to just work with one-on-one all of the time. You cannot scale that business model unless, like I said, you hire co-coaches, but then what you're doing is increasing your overheads because you need to pay people, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I definitely believe in outsourcing to be very beneficial in growing and scaling your business. But if you're trying to make consistent 10K cash months, I would look at how can I service more people, increase overall volume, nurture my clients moving from A to Z, or my audience moving from A to Z in my business, and start focusing on scaling that way. Now, building a timeline offer suite. When we spoke to client nurturing, that is the way that people, they meet you, they get to know you a little bit more, they feel that connection, and they move into some of your spaces. When we look at building a timeline offer suite, this is pretty much a way to meet your client every stage of their journey as they evolve inside of your business. Now, when we look at building a timeline offer suite, you can do this exceptionally well, where it funnels in the background really nicely, or really fucking poorly. It is an art to building out a timeline offer suite that meets your client where they're at every stage of their journey. But most people overlook this process. They also overlook the onboarding process and the automations that they have in their business. And this is really the strategy heavy kind of side, guys, but it makes sense, right? If we're wanting to build a sustainable, scalable business where we have more volume, we need to have some sort of infrastructure for these people to move through. If we are wanting to move away from a one-to-one model, create more passive income, trade back our time, building some sort of timeline offer suite is going to make the most logical sense in your business. Now, what this is going to do for your business long-term, if you don't have a timeline offer suite, is you're going to feel stuck. How many of us, and I got to this point in my business too, where I felt stuck. I was like, I can't take any more one-to-one clients because there's only one of me, but I don't know what the next logical step is. How can I service more people that isn't just the same as what everybody else is doing either? And we've all felt that period in our business where we're like, I feel stuck. I'm sitting at the same income level that I have been for the last X, Y, and Z months. Not yet, but it freaks me out thinking about it. Lol. Yeah. So you'll find that you sit at the same income level. You can't reach any sort of, you have a capped income ceiling essentially. Another thing that you'll notice is one-on-one client work can become relatively draining after a period of time, right? Now, all of us will get to a point in our business where we want to trade back our time. We don't want to be trading time for money. We want to be able to create something so we can build the business that creates a sustainable, secure income where we can go travel. We can not have to worry about clients leaving all the time, where we have some sort of passive revenue in our business. And building a timeline offer suite is the thing that's going to get you there. So if you can gain more clarity around the infrastructure in your business, It's going to help you create a clearer roadmap to scaling your business to consistent 10K months or above, right? But we need to understand that building that infrastructure is going to be the most important part. And if you're currently sitting right now going, oh, I don't actually have a sustainable or scalable business, I have the perfect place for you. Side Hustle to CEO. And I'm plugging this in here because I know all of us are in here for a particular reason. Like I said at the start, you guys are wanting to build a sustainable and scalable business. And I know from that chat box going off that all the codes that we taught today, superficial levels of consistency, being distracted, practicing non-attachment or being overly attached to the outcome, poor decision making, and actually having some sort of infrastructure is the things that are currently holding you back. Now, because you guys are here, you get a $400 discount to join Side Hustle to CEO. This is my 6-month business development program, and I'm going to say it is fucking elite. There are girls in here who are in Side Hustle to CEO, and this has a full roadmap from building your business from day one to creating your first 6 or multi-6-figure year. It has everything from business mindset, building out offers, creating a timeline offer suite, being able to scale consistently and sustainably and get results like I spoke to you about with my client going from $500 a week to $3,500 in their business per week. Can confirm Side Hustle to CEO is fire. It is. So if you're wanting to build sustainability, security in a business that allows you to get some time back, be able to build freedom, Side Hustle to CEO is for you. You can use the word scale 400 and the link will be in your emails very, very soon. Thank you for spending the morning with me, guys.